most watched news team in Ohio. This is News Channel 5 at 11.
Tis the season to open our hearts and our homes to family. And if you've been good, the jolly old elf himself may pay you a visit as well. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline McLean.
Thanks for joining us on this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas. I'm Michael Satoni. There must be a lot of good folks in Brownhelm Township, a small town just west of Elyria. That's where News Channel 5's Tony Gaskins ran into Santa Claus as he began his night-long journey.
Santa Claus is not always airborne on Christmas Eve. Sometimes he delivers gifts the old-fashioned way, door to door and on foot.
This year. Mrs. Claus, how are you?
In Brownhelm Township, these annual visits by Santa Claus are tradition, a way members of the community have expressed their holiday spirit for more than half a century.
Have you been good? You think you've been good? I don't like the way you're looking over there at your mother, probably.
Dropping off gifts door to door is something Paul Lutz has grown fond of. He's been driving Santa's sleigh for 30 years after someone asked him to help deliver gifts one Christmas Eve.
I said, sure, you know, so I started. And when I started, I thought, well, this is great, man. We ought to make a sleigh and put the deer on. So that's what we did.
So every year on this night, volunteers loaded down with gifts take to the streets of Brownhelm Township to spread cheer and goodwill. And children stare out windows anticipating Old St. Nick's arrival. As he hands out the gifts, it's sometimes tough for kids to contain their excitement.
David, open it, little David.
And this year, Santa brought his better half.
This year, I'm bringing Mrs. Claus along because she's a little jealous, you know. She sits home alone all night and waits for me to come back.
I've been hearing for years how wonderful the children are in this area, so I just had to come and meet them this year, because all I hear is how great they are.
Tonight, Santa and his helpers will deliver gifts to 48 homes in the township.
This is the Krauses. They don't know we're coming.
The spirit of giving can be contagious, but sometimes Santa prefers something else besides cookies.
This is for you, but the only way you're going to get it is to give me a kiss. Okay.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
In Brownhelm Township, Tony Gaskins, News Channel 5.
You were pretty good this year.
Oh, boy. Residents say the holiday gift-giving tradition will continue as long as there are warmth and homes standing in Brownhelm Township.
If you're expecting a Christmas package in the mail, it still may be coming. That's right, the post office will be delivering holiday packages tomorrow. It is a hub of activity, always is this time of the year. Before the holiday ends, postal workers everywhere will have postmarked and canceled around 250 million greeting cards. And the holiday rush doesn't just end on Christmas Eve. No way. Those last-minute packages that were dropped off are now top priority.
Depending on the time that they mail it on the day on Christmas Eve, but it should get there on Christmas Day. And people shouldn't be surprised to have the mailman show up at their door on Christmas morning with a package, delivering some packages that Santa couldn't quite get in the sack.
The post office expects to be swamped again this year. Thousands of last-minute packages are expected to be delivered.
Last year, on Christmas Day, we had approximately 400 employees working out at the various stations delivering packages. Delivered actually over 10,000 packages on Christmas Day in the city here in Cleveland.
A lot of postal workers can plan on being at work Christmas Day for a full shift. Most of the boxes going out are for express mail. That means the post office guarantees delivery the next day. But the demand this time of the year means even more work.
We're also going to deliver priority mail, any type of perishable. A lot of people are sending fruit during the holidays, and any packages that look like there might be some type of Christmas gift. We're going to make sure that we get those to our customers on Christmas Day.
Mailing by express mail does cost more. Jeffrey Nettles is taping a box to send first class at a cost of $16.95.
We asked about how much would it cost for Express, which was not that bad. I think it was $43.10, I believe, for the entire package, which could have been maybe 20 pounds worth of stuff that we sent, which is pretty good.
Of course, today was the last day to mail Christmas packages. Any express mail packages not delivered tomorrow, well, the post office says you can get a refund.
As many get ready for Christmas Day, others in our community are wrapping up a week-long holiday. Tonight marks the last night of Hanukkah. The 8-day celebration of Hanukkah is a Jewish holiday in which the victory over Syrians 2,000 years ago is celebrated. When they went to relight the temple's flame, they realized they had only enough oil for one day, but by a miracle, the menorah burned for 8. In honor of the last night of Hanukkah, many are rocking the night away to the sounds of One Wish Band at the Mandel JCC. Hundreds of partygoers joined the JCC Young Professionals group to meet and greet each other on this holiday. Cans of food and presents for the needy were collected at the door.
Many African Americans are about to begin a week-long cultural celebration. The 7 days of Kwanzaa is a celebration of African Americans and their heritage. This year, the celebration will mean a little more.
The Million Man March is intricate to Kwanzaa in that it ties us into unity.
Kwanzaa is based on 5 fundamental activities: in gathering of people, creation, the past, recommitment, and the celebration of good. The observance begins on December 26th.
In other Cleveland news, 2 Cleveland firefighters are recovering this evening. The 2 were injured when this home on West 130th Street went up in flames. Officials tell us the first floor of the home was unoccupied. Residents living on the second floor were not home at the time of the blaze. Firefighters suffered only minor injuries. Both were treated and released. The fire is being called suspicious. Estimated damage, $20,000.
At this hour, Cleveland police are on the scene of apparent homicide. Few details, but what we do know is that one man was killed, shot in the chest and stomach. The victim's name has not yet been released. Police believe the shooting on East 140th Street is drug-related. A former Browns great is in the hospital. His wife behind bars and accused of shooting him in the chest. Police say former Cleveland Browns defensive tackle Bob Gain was shot and wounded in a domestic argument. He remains in critical but stable condition. His wife, Kitty, is behind bars. Police say she shot him inside their Timber Lake home Friday night. Neighbors say they never knew there was a problem.
There's nothing to say that everything was always nice and wonderful, just like our house.
Kitty Gang will spend Christmas behind bars. She's scheduled to appear in court on Tuesday.
It could be the end of a franchise as we know it. 50 years in the making, the Cleveland Browns took to the field against Jacksonville for their last game of the season today. Maybe the last game ever. We dropped by the Grand Slam Grill in the Flats, but few were watching the game. A former fan said it's over, so why keep watching? He instead watched the Pittsburgh game.
Well, other fans will tell you the fight to save our Browns is far from over.
Our Lisa Burkue was in Florida for today's game, and she talked with several who say the fat lady may be warming up, but she hasn't sung yet.
Well, Michael and Jackie, a very sentimental day here in Jacksonville as the Browns play the Jacksonville Jaguars and possibly their last game is the Cleveland Browns. Bunch of Browns backers down here, bunch of Browns fans. You are president of the Browns Backers Club here in Jacksonville, and you just aren't a passive fan here today. Tell us what you've been doing.
Actually, what I'm trying to do is collect as many signatures as I possibly can. My goal out here today was 1,000 signatures, and what it is, it's a petition letting Paul Tagliabue know that as NFL fans, we're really concerned about the Cleveland Browns leaving the city of Cleveland. My goal was 1,000 signatures. I've got 970.
Let's see, you filling up a bunch of the pages here.
Got all the pages.
And the Jacksonville fans are pretty hospitable towards signing them, weren't they?
The Jacksonville fans are actually standing in line like 20 deep to help us out. They're really concerned. They don't want to see this happen to them.
They know how long it took to get a team here in Jacksonville, and you living here in Jacksonville know that it's pretty tough to get an expansion team if that's what's left for the Cleveland area.
Right, I've been here for 12 years, and they've really suffered through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of heartbreaks for this city alone, and they're great fans. They're great supporters of the NFL, and I hope it never happens to them.
Another interesting person we found over here is Terry Hunt. Terry, you're definitely in a peculiar position. You're the president of the Browns Backers Club in Baltimore, if you guys can believe that, in Baltimore. What's it like there? How are the Browns Backers fans reacting in Baltimore?
Well, the Browns backers themselves are very upset. The Cleveland Browns represent home to most of the people in my club, and you just can't move home. You can't bring home to Baltimore or Jacksonville or or anywhere.
So they're not supporting the Browns' move to Baltimore?
Absolutely not. We're supporting the Cleveland Browns and staying in Cleveland.
The sentiment here today, is it sad to watch these Browns play possibly their last game?
Oh, yeah, very sad. And it's tough. I'm trying to focus on the game, but half of me feels like I'm at a funeral.
Okay, thanks a lot, all of you, for joining us. And I'll tell you what, Michael and Jackie, the one thing that they are hoping for is this ticket here for the Browns and Jaguars game. They're hoping that Santa Claus does not make it a collector's item. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Lise. Coming up a little later, Newy Scruggs will have game lowlights and fan reaction. Coming up on News Channel 5, several endangered animals are killed as fire rips through the nation's oldest zoo. We'll have the latest from Philadelphia.
And this Christmas Eve, as U.S. troops continue to arrive in Bosnia, shots are fired. We'll show you what happened when News Channel 5 at 11 continues.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Every year at this time, we count our blessings at Walmart.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We're thankful we get to live in a country where freedom has no bounds.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
But most especially, we're thankful for the people who make our jobs possible.
And a Happy New Year.
To all our vendor partners who bring us our great products, and to all our wonderful customers who buy them, may this be the merriest Christmas of all.
Joe, I'm running a little late. Okay, a lot late. Whoa, sorry.
Tuesday is your day to pick up the kids, and today, excuse me, is Tuesday.
Joe, I'm on my way.
Looking for something a little more portable? Introducing Talk Along, the portable phone from Cellular One you buy off the shelf and start with one call. It's so affordable, you can't imagine getting along without one.
I usually do really good on the stairs.
Talk Along. It won't cost much to stay in touch. Talk Along is now available at a store near you.
With a newly enhanced Vortec 4300 V6 engine and available push-button four-wheel drive, the GMC Jimmy can handle virtually anything you might encounter on the road. But you may appreciate Jimmy even more for its ability to get you out of your own driveway. Hundreds less than Jeep Grand Cherokee and Ford Explorer. See Jimmy at your 5-star GMC truck dealer.
It's an hour packed with silver screen superstars on the next Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. Coming up, whether he's dancing with wolves or sailing into Waterworld, Kevin Costner's the leading man you love to love. Plus, after 4 weddings and a funeral, Hugh Grant made the headlines for something other than movie making.
It's not been my best week. No.
We'll get the scoop. All that, plus the great Gene Hackman on Live.
Regis and Kathy Lee, Tuesday at 11.
In national news, investigators are trying to determine what caused a deadly fire at the Philadelphia Zoo. 23 rare gorillas and other primates were killed. The building had smoke detectors but didn't have automatic sprinklers. All of the animals, which died from smoke inhalation, were endangered species. No other injuries were reported.
All is not quiet in Bosnia tonight. As the deployment of NATO forces continued today, a British Lynx helicopter came under fire from tracer bullets over a Croat-held town. The helicopter was not hit, and it's not clear who fired. Earlier in the day, the first U.S. Apache and Black Hawk helicopters arrived in Bosnia, while French soldiers were extending their control in Sarajevo. Officials still say they are pleased with the 4-day-old NATO mission. In a matter of hours, Pope John Paul will celebrate Christmas morning Mass at the Vatican. At this time, he will deliver his traditional holiday message. At a midnight Mass broadcast worldwide from the Vatican City, the Pope invoked a renewed hope for peace in the Balkans and elsewhere. More than 60 countries received a satellite broadcast of the Mass, in which the Pope told worshipers that Christmas is historically a time of harmony.
Still ahead.
Brad Sussman has 2 duties tonight, one to track the weather and the other to track old St. Nick. How's it looking, Brad?
I think we got a bead on the jolly old elf. We'll give you details coming up in just a little bit. Stay with us.
Before Old Man Winter does a number on you, explore your #1 option, Truck Month at your Ford dealer. Save on the power and dependability of 4-wheel drive in Ford Explorer, Northeast Ohio's #1 sport utility, Ranger, Northeast Ohio's #1 compact pickup, F-150, the #1 selling vehicle in Northeast Ohio, all with 4x4 traction, all with great savings, all during Truck Month. Don't wait for winter to do a number on you. Explore your #1 option, Truck Month at your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer now.